Good morning and welcome to our 2023 Veterans Day program. Thank you for your patience there as we get our students in and get them seated. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, veterans, for coming out this morning and being with us and celebrating Veterans Day. This is one of our favorite times at Corbin Middle School. It's one of our favorite celebrations because we get to celebrate our servicemen and women. So with that, we are going to get started with our program. Thank you, students, for coming out and attending and celebrating our veterans. It is a solemn program, and so I just want to remind you just to be engaged and plug into the program and listen to what everybody has to say to you. So with that, we will get started. We will ask you to stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing. And now we will have Aaron Stoltz, one of our students, doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you will face the flag for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you. Well, a good morning again to everyone. I would like to extend a welcome to our families who have made it out, our friends, and of course our distinguished guests, our veterans. I'm very humbled and very honored by the opportunity that I have to speak on behalf of Corbin Middle School as we celebrate our servicemen and women in the armed forces, and we honor those sacrifices made by these veterans in order for the United States of America to be recognized as the greatest nation in the world. And I would like to say, make no mistake, it is still the greatest nation in the world to this day. I want to give just a little bit of history on Veterans Day, because this day actually began in 1919 as Armistice Day. And it marks the date when Germany and the Allies signed a 1918 agreement to cease World War I hostilities. Earlier in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November the 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day, saying, and I quote, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory." So today, we are gathered in solemn pride, and we recognize the heroes present in this very gymnasium, as well as those attending in spirit. We are seated today in the midst of these patriots who nobly served our country. At this time, I would like to ask our current service members and veterans to please stand. We want to say thank you for your service. Thank you. Corbin Middle School, you're just looking at individuals who vigorously supported our country and prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. Turn on the news at any given moment, and you will see patriotism challenged on every hand in our nation today. So we gladly and wholeheartedly take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your service to this country, making it the most feared and respected nation in the entire world. The individuals that you see here today came from various walks of life, but they are united by several fundamental qualities: pride, determination, dedication, selflessness, and integrity. These attributes united within the individual, inspiring him or her to pledge allegiance to a greater cause than self. Many of our veterans and servicemen and women, they didn't volunteer to go to war. They didn't ask to leave their homes for battlefields, and maybe not anticipated the magnitude of their sacrifice and service. They were called. And the call resonated deep within their souls. They're ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. Veterans, you answered America's call. We are so grateful for the victories because of your love for this country. So students, I want to take just a moment and speak directly to you. Our veterans and servicemen and women answered a call. And because they did, they answered that call that they didn't make. You experienced freedom that you did not create. There's been a very high price paid for you to soar above mediocrity. They fought with every fiber of their being to provide you the opportunity, the daily opportunity, to choose. Too many sacrifices have been made for you to settle for average. So I want to challenge you today to embrace the precious gift that our veterans have freely placed in your hands. Today and tomorrow, citizens throughout the country will gather to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. And our gathering may seem small to you, but it is a spark igniting America's pride in itself. Celebrating Veterans Day in Corbin, Kentucky, at Corbin Middle School fans our nation's patriotic flames. This is not a small celebration. We honor those who sacrifice themselves so that we can daily experience our freedom. Your presence here today, united with our Americans gathering all across America, is a tribute to our troops and their families. So today we remember. We remember the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter at Valley Forge. We remember from the muddy trenches of France to the hazy jungles of Vietnam. We remember the decades-long Cold War. And we remember from the mountains of Afghanistan to Iraq. We remember and we honor them. We honor each of you in your service. Thank you for our homeland. Our homeland is free, and our homeland is brave because of the sacrifices of our veterans. And we would like to say thank you so much. God bless each of you. God bless the United States of America. So I have the great pleasure of introducing our guest speaker. And I met our guest speaker when I taught at Corbin High School. He was one of the first individuals to reach out to me and make me feel welcome in Corbin and at the high school. So I count it a great honor to introduce my friend, colleague, as well as one of our veterans. Colonel Mike Farley is a native of East Bernstadt, Kentucky. He enlisted into the Army Reserves in 1983. After completing his military training, he enrolled at Cumberland College, and in 1985, he joined the ROTC program. After completing ROTC in 1987, he was commissioned as Second Lieutenant, Armor Branch. In 1989, after receiving his Bachelor of Science degree, Colonel Farley became an active duty officer, and his first assignment was in Germany. Over the next 27 years, Colonel Farley would command in positions from Tank Platoon Leader, Armor Company Commander, Armor Battalion Commander, and Special Unit Commander. Colonel Farley has completed 3 combat tours to include Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Colonel Farley has been awarded the Bronze Star with Oak Leaf Cluster, the Meritorious Service Medal with 3 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Army Commendation Medal with 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Army Achievement Medal with 5 Oak Leaf Clusters. That's just to name a few. He has also earned the Parachutes Badge and the Combat Action Badge. During his career, he has traveled to more than 50 countries. Colonel Farley began teaching the JROTC program at Corbin High School in 2012. And Colonel Farley is married to his wife, Jessica. They have 4 children and 2 grandchildren. Please make welcome our guest speaker, Colonel Farley.
All right, before I speak, we're going to do a little presentation for you, so if the drill team will go ahead and get in position. Military history reveals that armies throughout the world participated in some form of drill. The primary value of drill, historically, is to prepare troops for battle. For the most part, the drill practices are identical to troop maneuvers employed on the battlefield. Drill enables commanders to quickly move their forces from one point to another, mass their forces in battle formation that affords maximum firepower, and maneuver those forces as the situation develops.
3, 2, go! Sir, Commissioner Roger.
Commission Grant.
Thank you, sir. Order, on. Left, face. About face. Forward, box. Column, box. Left way, box. Right way, box. All right, box. Right way, box. Left way, box. All right, box. Rear, box. Rear, box. All right, box. All right, box. Coleman, box. All right, box.
Give them a round of applause. I'm sure you guys are familiar. They work long and hard on that. Most of them have 2 left feet. We got that fixed. So we're very proud of them. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to our veterans. If you served in the Army, stand up. Give them a round of applause. If you served in the Air Force, stand up. In the Air Force, there's always a couple. Thank you all. If you served in the Navy, stand up. There you go. If you served in the Marine Corps, stand up. There you go. And do you have anybody from the Coast Guard? Yeah, there's no boats around here. Okay. All right, Corbin Middle School, thank you for allowing me to come and address you guys and to speak to you. I wanted to speak to you today about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the word and the action of respect. Respect. There's no greater gift than one could give than to lay down their life for another. There is no greater tragedy than for one's actions that lead to the separation of brothers. I want you to think about that. The opposite of giving your life for someone versus tearing someone down. Polar opposites. Do your actions lead to being united or divided? I talked to the elementary school this morning. I talked about your actions in the classroom. Did they unite the class or did they divide the class? Because if you're talking about someone, if you're talking hateful to someone, if you're being rude to someone, you're dividing your classroom. You're not uniting it. Today I want to talk about respect. The dictionary defines respect in two ways. Feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by the abilities, qualities, or achievements. That's one definition. The second definition is regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. One is earned and one is given. You control both. Example, when you start school, you should respect your teachers because they are teaching you, period. They have taken the time to become educated, to learn their given skill or their topic. However, you get to know them over time. You should respect them the second you walk into class, but as you get to know them over time, you may and should develop more respect because you know their abilities. You know how they care about you. You know the job that they do. But where does respect come from? Respect is a learned behavior. It comes from three areas: your family, your beliefs, and your experiences. It's interesting, at the high school, we have morning duty sometimes, and when I get morning duty, I always tell every student that comes into school, good morning. A third of them will say good morning back. A third of them will look at me like I'm crazy, and a third of them won't even acknowledge that I'm standing there. Which of those thirds do you think shows respect? I think it's the ones that give the greeting back. When we respect each other, we unite each other. But without respect, we divide each other. Let's look at America. Does our country deserve your respect? Do you feel respected? If you have done anything, have you done anything to earn respect? Has America done anything to earn your respect? What has America done or achieved? Because remember, one of the definitions of respect is to look at what attributes or qualities someone or something has. Has America made any mistakes? Has she corrected the mistakes that she has made? Has America earned your respect? Again, I pose that question. Have you earned America's respect? See, we all have a part in this. That's the reason why our history is so important. If we forget our history, then we don't know when we have messed up and if we've corrected it. If we forget our history, we don't know the great things that our country has done. And I can assure you, we have done both. We've made mistakes and we've done some amazing things. But the important thing is that we push forward and then we continue to grow. That growth comes with you all. You all are of the age where your brains are starting to kick in, believe it or not, and you're starting to make decisions for yourself. You're starting to decide, what will my future look like? The decisions you make now will impact what your future is. If you make wise decisions now, you will have a bright future. If you make poor decisions now, your future might not be bright. But the good news is, when you make poor decisions, if you have the courage and ability to stand up and say, you know what, I messed up, I shouldn't have done that. When you have that courage, you earn people's respect. It's when you say, I don't care that I messed up, and it doesn't matter, and I don't care what you think about me, that's when you don't earn respect. So I want you to think about that. We can tell you what you should or shouldn't respect, but you must decide. It's your choice. I choose to respect our country. I choose to respect our Constitution and our flag. I choose to respect you all. I believe in you, and I believe in our country enough that I was willing to lay my life down for it. So were these ladies and gentlemen over here. I'm going to date myself a little bit, but when I was a child, the news network would end at 10 o'clock on a normal weekday. As soon as the news went off, the TV went off. There was no programming after the news. But before the TV went blank, they would play the national anthem. When I was a kid, my dad would make my sister and I stand up in our living room as the national anthem was being played. Because my dad knew the sacrifices that were made for that flag. My dad knew the sacrifices that were made for you, and you weren't even born yet. So I ask you again, what will you give your respect to? It breaks my heart when I'm at a Corbin Redhound football game and we're presenting the colors on the field and I hear kids laughing and talking in the background. Now I'm standing on the middle of the field and I can hear kids 100 yards away from me laughing when the gentleman on the loudspeaker just said, please rise and take your hats off for our national colors. See, when you disrespect that flag, you disrespect me. When you disrespect that flag, you disrespect these men and women. You disrespect where we came from, and you disrespect where we're going to. You have a choice. I can't tell you or make you respect. I can encourage you to respect, and you should. I've done my part, and our veterans that sit before you have done their part. We have earned your respect if you give it to us or not. The question is, will you give us the respect that we have earned? Can you acknowledge the need and responsibility to give and to earn respect? Because without it, we won't survive. It takes very little discipline, but it takes the right attitude, and sometimes it even takes courage. But I promise you one thing, if you give respect, it will always return to you. To our veterans, you have my utmost respect. You have earned it. Thank you for your respect for our country. Thank you for your service. I hope and pray, and I have faith that this next generation will follow in our footsteps. May God bless you, and may God bless this great country. At this time, we're going to do a flag folding ceremony. If you guys will come forward.
Ready. Step. Sit. Face. Forward. Forward. Left. 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 Right. Mark on. Mark. Hands down. Up. Center. Face. Ready. Step. Ready. Step. Ready. Step. Ready. Step.
The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold signifies our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and tribute of the veteran departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace. The fourth fold exemplifies our weaker nature as citizens trusting in God. It is to Him we turn for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is an acknowledgement to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death that we might see the light of day, and to honor our mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is an honor to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters to the defense of our country since he or she was first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizens, represents the lower portion, the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies, in their eyes, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies, in their eyes, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The last fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust."
Ready. Step. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Sit. Face.
Over. Halt. Left. Right. Left. Right. Halt on. Halt.
Give them a round of applause. If you listen to those circling folds, it gives you a little bit of an idea about what our country was founded on, how important our mothers and our fathers are, how important our belief in a higher being is, how important it is that we acknowledge what that flag stands for. I'll close with this. A few years ago, my second son played basketball for Corbin, and we were playing at a local high school. I won't mention any names. And I was home on leave from Iraq at the time. And sitting in front of me were two young men that were high school boys that when the national anthem and the colors were being presented and the national anthem was being sung, they sat there on the bleachers in front of me. And my blood was boiling, to say the least. So when the national anthem was finished, I asked the young men, "Why didn't you all stand?" And they said, "Because we don't believe in what the flag stands for." And I said, "Well, what do you believe in?" Their answer was silence. I want you to think about that. In their minds and in their hearts, they had nothing to believe in. Young men and women, you better believe in something. I think a great start is with those colors, because a lot of blood has been shed and a lot of sacrifices have been made for that flag. Yes, it's just a piece of cloth, but you know what? It represents us. It represents who we are. It represents what we've done, our mistakes and our triumphs. It represents where we are now, and it represents our future. You will be the ones that will carry that flag. So I ask you again, from the bottom of my heart, find out what respect is. Learn about it. Make it a part of who you are. Make it a part of how you think. Make it a part of how you treat each other. Because I promise you one thing, when you respect each other, no one can tear us down. No one. So that's my challenge to you. Figure out what you're going to respect. Thank you very much.
At this time, we will have a slide presentation. Hopefully you can see our slideshow. should go ahead and stand and give our veterans a standing ovation and applause because after today, you know, they've earned it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Students, you may be seated. That's the power of this program. If you came in today and you kind of respect veterans, you think, yes, I'm glad where I live. After you come through a program like this, I think the pride in you it just soars up in you. And that's what we want to happen. Because as I reflected back on the program, respect seems like an easy thing. And that's one of our messages here at Corbin Middle School is respect. So it seems easy to say thank you to the cafeteria workers when they serve you food, or hold open a door and say thank you. It seems very easy, and then I thought, if those things are so easy, then why is it so difficult to do? That's what I was thinking while Colonel Farley was speaking. And it hit me, if it's a difficult thing and you're not aware of those, seems like small things to do with respect, maybe it's because it's not resonated within you to believe in something than yourself. Respect is difficult if you don't examine that. And that's the power of this program, to look and see the sacrifices that your family members, mine, have made and see them seated here today. There's been a heavy price paid for you to be able to choose Corbin Middle School, for you to even be able to choose what is served in the cafeteria. You get a choice. And that seems really small, but when you ground it in service, laying down your life for you to get to select what to eat at lunch, it's unparalleled. And that's why respect is so important. I really appreciate Colonel Farley and his message that he brought to Corbin Middle School, because I think it's where we are and it's who we are. We so appreciate that. Before I close, I want to say thank you to Mr. Dawson, because he's not only the choir director, but he also directs the band. And they did a wonderful job today. Let's give them a hand. Thank you, students, for all of your hard work. I know it's a busy time of year for you because you had Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then your Christmas concerts. Thank you for your service to Corbin Middle School. And on that note, students, if you would like to join choir band, I think you could do that around the end of the semester. So we wanted to share that with you. I have 3 students who are going to help Miss House over here to the side. Brody Brown, Graciela Barajas, and Tori Kennedy are going to go back here to the table. Veterans, our art program, have created Christmas ornaments for you. So it's Christmas ornaments for our veterans. We would love for you to stop by and pick up your ornament and have some coffee and cookies, because our cafeteria staff has prepared those for you. I want you to eat all the cookies, take some home, because I do not want to eat all of those today. So make sure you take some with you. That's what my mom always says, take it all. So with that, we will go ahead and begin our dismissal. Veterans, if you